Good morning, everyone. In last class, we have discussed about even and odd signals. Let us have a quick review on it and let us do some tutorial problems. Okay. So, what is an even signal? A continuous time signal is said to be even if it satisfies the condition x of t is equal to x of minus t is equal to x of t for all values of t, isn't it? Even signals are also called as symmetric signals because they are symmetric about its vertical axis. Even signals are also called as symmetric signals. Similarly, a continuous time signal is said to be odd if it satisfies the condition x of minus t is equal to minus x of t for all values of t. Odd signals are also called asymmetric signals because they exhibit asymmetric nature about its vertical axis. Even signal satisfies this condition and they are called symmetric signals. Odd signal satisfies this condition and they are called asymmetric signals. And we have seen some examples for discrete time signals and for even signals and odd signals. Here we have considered x of t is equal to cos omega t and we would like to find x of minus t. Then it should be cos of minus omega t. Actually, cos of minus omega t is equal to cos omega t because we know the fact that cos of minus theta is equal to cos theta. So cos omega t is nothing but x of t, right? Since here it satisfies the condition x of minus t is equal to x of t, this signal is called as even signal. The signal is called as even signal. Similarly, in the second example, we have considered x of t is equal to sine omega t. If x of t is equal to sine omega t, then x of minus t should be equal to sine of omega into minus t, which is sine minus omega t, or this can also be written as minus sine omega t. As we all know that sine of minus theta is equal to minus sine theta, right? So this is equal to x of minus t. Here it satisfies the condition that x of minus t is equal to minus x of t. So x of t is an odd signal. So if x of t is given in, or if the continuous time signal is represented in its functional representation, then we can proceed or we can find whether the signal is even or odd by using this procedure, by using this equation. If x of t is represented in its pictorial representation, then we should find x of t in this procedure. See, they asked us to find x of t is whether an even signal or odd signal. So what we would like to do, we should plot x of minus t. Here x of t is given, we should plot x of minus t. Here the limits are not given. So if the limits are not given, we can consider the limits as minus 1 and plus 1, right? So let us try to plot x of minus t. If we plot x of minus t, then that is similar to this one, right? Then that is similar to this one. So if we multiply this particular signal with minus, then we are going to get this signal. So it satisfies the condition x of minus t is equal to minus x of t. So it is a sort of odd signal. Is it clear? Next, here x of t is given. See, without doing all this, we can say it as an odd signal because here if you observe this signal is asymmetric about its vertical axis. Here vertical axis is this one. This signal is asymmetric about its vertical axis. If the signal is asymmetric about its vertical axis, then we call it as odd signal, isn't it? Similarly, here the signal, what we observed, is symmetric about its vertical axis. The signal is symmetric about its vertical axis. So obviously it is an even signal, but let us check it. So if it is x of t, let us try to plot x of minus t. Here x of minus t looks similar to x of t. So x of minus t is equal to x of t for all values of t. So x of t here is an even signal. Similarly, a discrete time signal is said to be even if it satisfies the condition x of minus n is equal to x of n for all values of n. Similarly, a discrete time said to be odd if it satisfies the condition x of minus n is equal to minus x of n. So till now we have seen the definitions of definitions of even signal and odd signal for both continuous and discrete time. Now we would like to find the even and odd component of every signal, the even and odd component of any given arbitrary signal, right? See, as I have already explained you that every signal can be expressed as sum of even and odd components, sum of even and odd components. So if a signal can be represented as sum of even and odd components, then we can say that x of t is equal to xe of t plus x naught of t, where xe of t is the even component of x of t and x naught of t is the odd component of x of t. So let us replace t with minus t in the above equation. Let us replace t with minus t in the above equation. So if we replace t with minus t, then it is of the form x of minus t is equal to xe of minus t plus x naught of minus t. As we have already defined that xe of t is an even component and x naught of t is the odd component. If xe of t is the even component, then it should satisfy the even condition. If x naught of t is the odd component, then it should satisfy the odd condition. So xe of minus t is equal to xe of t. Similarly, x naught of minus t is equal to minus x naught of t, isn't it? So this can be written as, since it is the even component, xe of minus t should be equal to xe of t, and this is the odd component, x naught of minus t should be equal to minus x naught of t. So let us add equations 1 and 2 and subtract equation 2 from 1. If we add these two signals, then plus x naught of t and minus x naught of t will get cancelled. The resultant might be x of t plus x of minus t is equal to 2 into xe of t, and we are here to find xe of t. So xe of t is equal to x of t plus x of minus t divided by 2. Similarly, x naught of t is equal to x of t minus x of minus t divided by 2, isn't it? Similarly, if we find the same for discrete time signals also, we are going to get the same equations. Means xe of n is equal to x of n plus x of minus n divided by 2. Similarly, x naught of n is equal to x of n minus x of minus n divided by 2. So if usually sums are given to find even component and odd component of given signal. So there we usually use these formulas. So here we have to prove that what is the resultant of product of two even signals, product of two odd signals, and the product of an even signal and odd signal, right? So prove that the product of two even signals is even, right? So here let us consider x1 of t and x2 of t be the even signals. So if these two are even signals, means they should satisfy this condition, isn't it? Every even signal should satisfy the condition x of minus t is equal to x of t. Similarly, x2 of t is also an even signal. So x2 of minus t is equal to x2 of t, right? These two are even signals, isn't it? So, and let us also consider x of t is equal to x1 of t into x2 of t. Here they have asked us to prove that product of two even signals as even signal. X of t is equal to x1 of t into x2 of t. but even a kada ani manam we should find, right? So let us consider t is equal to minus t. X of minus t is equal to x1 of minus t into x2 of minus t. Since both are even signals, they can be replaced with x1 of t into x2 of t, which is nothing but x of t, isn't it? So here x of minus t is equal to x of t. So it is an even signal. So product of two even signals is an even signal. We have proved that the product of two even signals is an even signal. Clear? Next, we would like to prove that the product of an even signal and odd signal is odd. Product of an even signal and odd signal is odd. Let x1 of t is even. Let us consider x1 of t as an even signal and x2 of t as an odd signal. If it is an even signal, then it should satisfy the condition x1 of minus t is equal to x1 of t. And if x2 of t is an odd signal, then it should satisfy the condition x2 of minus t is equal to minus x2 of t, isn't it? So now we would like to find the product of now we would like to find the product of these two signals, isn't it? So x of t is equal to x1 of t into x2 of t, and let me replace this t with minus t. If I replace this t with minus t, then x of minus t is equal to x1 of minus t into x2 of minus t. Here this is an even signal and this is an odd signal. So x1 of minus t can be replaced with x1 of t, and x2 of minus t can be replaced with minus x2 of t. So this can be written as minus x1 of t into minus x2 of t, which is nothing but minus x of t. So here it satisfies the condition x of minus t is equal to minus x of t. So here we have proved that the product of an even signal and odd signal is an odd signal. The product of an even signal and an odd signal is an odd signal. And next we would consider both the signals as odd signals. Both the signals as odd signals. So prove that the product of two odd signals is an even signal, right? Here we have considered x1 of t as an even odd signal and x2 of t as an odd signal. So both should satisfy the condition x of minus t is equal to minus x of t. Here also x2 of minus t is equal to minus x2 of t, right? And here the product x of t is equal to x1 of t into x2 of t, and let us replace t with minus t in the above equation. So if I have replaced t with minus t in the above equation, then it should be x of minus t is equal to x1 of minus t into x2 of minus t. This x1 of minus t can be written as minus x1 of t, and this x2 of minus t can be written as minus x2 of t, isn't it? See here, minus into minus is equal to plus. So x of minus t is equal to x1 of t into x2 of t, which is nothing but x of t, isn't it? So here we have proved that x of minus t is equal to x of t. X of minus t is equal to x of t. So it is an which type of signal it is? Is it an even signal or odd signal? It is an even signal. Now I would like to find even and odd components of the following signal. Now we would like to find the even and odd components of the following signal. See, the signal is x of t is equal to e to the power of j2t. So x of minus t, manaki even and odd components find out cheyali ante, as we know that even component is equal to x of t plus x of minus t divided by 2, and odd component is equal to x of t minus x of minus t divided by 2. So మనకు already x of t ఇచ్చారు కాబట్టి we should find x of minus t, isn't it? So x of t is equal to xe of t is equal to x of t plus x of minus t divided by 2. Similarly, x naught of t is equal to x of t minus x of minus t divided by 2. Is it clear? Then what is x of t? E to the power of j2t. And what is x of minus t? E to the power of minus j2t divided by 2, which is equal to cos 2t, isn't it? Similarly, while finding the odd component, x naught of t is equal to x of t minus x of minus t divided by 2. Here x of t is equal to e to the power of j2t minus e to the power of minus j2t by 2. As we all know that sine, it is in the form of sine theta, sine 2t if the denominator has j component, isn't it? So let us multiply and divide this entire expression with j. Then we are going to get j into e to the power of j2t minus e to the power of minus j2t by 2j, which is nothing but j sine 2t. Is it clear? Next, can anyone in the class find the even and odd components of this x of t is equal to cos omega naught t plus pi by 3? Anyone in the class? Similar to the above problem, here we would like to find the even and odd components of cos omega naught t. Anyone in the class, can you find the even and odd components of cos omega naught t plus pi by 3? Yes or no? So here we go. As we all know that x of t is equal to cos omega naught t plus pi by 3 and x of minus t is equal to cos. See here t should be replaced with minus t, isn't it? Cos of minus omega naught t plus pi by 3, isn't it? Now even component, finding the even component and odd component. Even component is x of t plus x of minus t divided by 2. X of t is cos omega naught t plus pi by 3 plus cos of minus omega naught t plus pi by 3 divided by 2. As we all know that cos a plus b plus cos a minus b is equal to 2 cos a cos b. Is it clear? So it can be written as 2 cos omega naught t into cos pi by 3. So 2 into cos omega naught t into what is cos pi by 3? 1 by 2, isn't it? 1 by 2. So 2 into cos omega naught t into 1 by 2. So this 2 and this 1 by 2 will get cancelled and the resultant will be cos omega naught t divided by 2. And the odd component is x naught of t is equal to x of t minus x of minus t divided by 2, which is cos omega naught t plus pi by 3 minus cos minus omega naught t plus pi by 3. As we know that cos a plus b minus cos a minus b is equal to minus 2 sin a sin b. Yes or no? So now it can be written as minus 2 into what is sin pi by 3? Here this 2 and that 2 will get cancelled. We can cancel these two things and sin pi by 3 is equal to root 3 by 2. So minus root 3 by 2 sin omega naught is the odd component of given signal cos omega naught t plus pi by 3. Next, they asked us to find the even and odd components of u of t plus 2. See, for if they have given the actual signal in terms of standard signals or elementary signals, then we should go for pictorial representation or graphical representation, right? So what is u of t? U of t is defined as 1 for t greater than or equal to 0. Then what is u of t plus 2? U of t is shifted towards left by 2 units of time. What is u x of minus t? X of minus t is nothing but time reversal of x of t. So x of minus t is defined in the range of minus infinite to 2. X of minus t is defined in the range of minus infinite to 2. Yes or no? So the even component here is given by x of t plus x of minus t divided by 2. Even component is given by x of t plus x of minus t divided by 2. Then what will be the resultant? What will be the resultant? A8. A8. What will be the resultant? A8. Anyone in the class? If we add these two signals, what will be the resultant? A8 ఉన్నారా లేరా క్లాస్ లో అసలు? Just respond. A9. ఏంటమ్మా ఫోన్ పక్కన పెట్టి వేరే పనులు ఏమైనా చేసుకుంటున్నారా ఏంటి? A9. A8. A9. B0. Am I audible? వినపడుతుందమ్మా మీకు లేదా? Guys, respond. I3. Am I audible? See, am I audible? Okay. A8, A9, B0 క్లాస్ లో ఉన్నారా లేరా మీరు అసలు? జస్ట్ అన్మ్యూట్ యువర్ సెల్ఫ్. A8 ఉన్నారా లేరా? A9, B0 అన్మ్యూట్ చేయడం తెలియదా? మిమ్మల్ని అరవమని అడగల, అసలు ఉంటే రెస్పాండ్ అవ్వాలి కదా క్వశ్చన్ అడిగితే. మీకు తెలిస్తే తెలుసు, లేకపోతే అర్థం కాలేదు. దేర్ ఆర్ టూ ఆన్సర్స్ రైట్. నేను అడుగుతుంది ఆన్సర్ టు మై క్వశ్చన్. డూ యు నో హౌ టు యాడ్ దీస్ టూ సిగ్నల్స్? ఇప్పటిదాకా నేను ఆబ్సెంట్ వేస్తా అన్నాను కానీ బట్ ఓకే అని నేను ఎవరికి ఆబ్సెంట్ మార్చేయలేదమ్మా. బట్ ఇఫ్ యు ఆర్ సచ్ ఇర్రెస్పాన్సిబుల్, పిలుస్తున్నా ఇఫ్ యు ఆర్ నాట్ ఇన్ So can you, anyone in the class, can you add these two signals? Yes or no? See, if you are
from minus infinity to minus 2, the value is 1.
Very good. What about the signal value from minus 2 to plus 2?
The value is 2, ma'am.
Very good. What about the signal value from 2 to infinite?
2 to infinity 1, ma'am.
Okay. So the signal what we have discussed is x of t plus x of minus t, isn't it? Now we need to scale this amplitude by a factor of 2. 1 by 2 into something means we are doing amplitude scaling, isn't it? So multiply the amplitude of this signal by a factor of 1 by 2. So if we multiply this amplitude by a factor of 1 by 2 from minus infinite to minus 2, the signal should have the amplitude of 0.5, and from minus 2 to plus 2, the signal should have the amplitude of 1, and from 2 to infinite, this signal should have the amplitude of 0.5. Now I would like to plot odd component of this particular signal. Now I would like to plot the odd component of this particular signal. So what is the odd component? Odd component is given by x of t minus x of minus t divided by 2, isn't it? Already we have plotted x of t and x of minus t. Now we would like to subtract x of minus t from x of t. What will be the resultant if we subtract x of minus t from x of t? What will be the resultant? Anyone in the class?
From 2 to infinity, ma'am. The value is 1.
From 2 to infinite, the signal should have the value of 1. Good. What about the signal amplitude from minus 2 to plus 2? From minus 2 to plus 2, this signal has the amplitude of 1 and this signal also has the amplitude of 1. So 1 minus 1 should be equal to 0. And from minus infinite to minus 2, this signal has the amplitude of 0 and this signal has the amplitude of 1. 0 minus 1 is equal to minus 1. Right? This is 2 and this is minus 2. This is 1 and this is minus 1. X of t plus x of minus t, right? But we should find the odd component x of t plus x of minus t divided by 2. Divided by 2 means we should scale the
X of t
amplitude.
minus x of minus t.
Yeah. X of t minus x of minus t divided by 2, isn't it? So if it is scale this amplitude by a factor of 2, then this should be the resultant. This is the odd component of the given signal and this is the even component of the given signal. Next, x of t is equal to e power minus j3t, which is similar to the first problem. And then x of n is equal to minus 3, 1, 2, minus 4, 2. So what does this arrow indicates before drawing the signal? What does this arrow indicates? For a discrete time signal in its sequence representation, what is the upward pointed arrow indicates? What? What upward pointed arrow indicates? Upward pointed arrow indicates horizon sample, isn't it? So since it is an horizon sample, the samples to the left side of samples to the left side of this indicates samples for negative values of n, and these samples indicate samples for positive values of n. Is it clear? So this signal has the amplitude of 2 at horizon and 1 at n equal to -1 and -3 at n equal to -2. -4 at n is equal to 1. Right? This is x of n. So if we add these two samples, then what might be the resultant? So what is x of n plus x of minus n? So at n is equal to -2, this signal has the amplitude of -3 and this signal has the amplitude of 2. -3 plus 2 is equal to, yes, you are correct, it is -1. Is it clear?
-3.
-1, -3.
4.
4.
-3.
-3, good.
-1.
-1, very good. Right? But what we want the even component of this particular signal. So that should be divided by a factor of 2, isn't it? సో ఇఫ్ వి డివైడెడ్ బై యాక్చువల్లీ మీరు ఇది పిక్టోరియల్ రిప్రజెంటేషన్లోనే చేయాలమ్మా. కాకపోతే ఏంటంటే నాకు పిక్టోరియల్ రిప్రజెంటేషన్ చూస్ చేసుకుంటే ఇట్ ఈస్ టైమ్ కన్జ్యూమింగ్ హియర్, బికాస్ నాకు డ్రా చేయడానికి టైం ఎక్కువ పడుతుంది కాబట్టి ఐఎమ్ ప్రిఫరింగ్ ఇట్ ఇన్ సీక్వెన్స్ ఫామ్. బట్ యూ గైస్ షుడ్ డూ ఇట్ ఇన్ పిక్టోరియల్ రిప్రజెంటేషన్. అంటే డైరెక్ట్ యాడ్ చేసి సబ్స్ట్రాక్ట్ చేయండి, డివైడెడ్ యాంప్లిట్యూడ్ స్కేల్ చేసి అండ్ దెన్ సబ్స్ట్రాక్ట్. And this is the resultant. This is the resultant. Now we would like to find the odd component. Now we would like to find the odd component. So if we want to find the odd component, first we should find x of n minus x of minus n. Minus
5 by 2.
Minus
5 by 2.
Good.
5 by 2.
Okay.
0.
Yeah.
Minus 5 by 2.
Yeah.
5 by 2.
Good. Right. This is the odd component. This is the odd component. మీరు అబ్జర్వ్ చేస్తే ఎప్పుడు ఆడ్ కాంపోనెంట్ కి ఆరిజిన్ శాంపుల్ 0 ఉంటుంది. అంటే 98 అవుట్ ఆఫ్ 100 కేసెస్ లో యూ కెన్ ఫైండ్ దిస్ యాజ్ 0. And next we should find the even and odd components of this particular x of n, right? మామూలుగా ప్రీవియస్ సమ్ లో అయితే మనకి యారో ఉంది కాబట్టి వీ హ్యావ్ కన్సిడర్డ్ ద యారో శాంపుల్ యాజ్ ఆర్ ద శాంపుల్ విచ్ కరెస్పాండ్స్ టు దిస్ యారో యాజ్ ఆరిజిన్ శాంపుల్. బట్ ఇన్ ద నెక్స్ట్ కేస్ they didn't specify any arrow or any indication. Then which might be the origin sample here? If arrow is not satisfied, is not specified, then which sample we should consider as origin sample by default? Which sample? See, arrow ganaka specify cheyakapothe by default we should consider the first sample as the origin sample. If the arrow is not specified, then we must and should consider the first sample as the origin sample. Is it clear? So do this sum also in the above process. Naku ikkada pictorial representation time taking undani I have done this in sequence form, but preferably మీకు పిక్టోరియల్ రిప్రజెంటేషన్ లోనే చేయండి అమ్మా. ఓకే, బట్ సీక్వెన్స్ ఫామ్ లో అయితే ఏంటంటే మిస్టేక్స్ తక్కువ వచ్చే ఛాన్స్ ఉంటుంది. సో టిల్ నౌ హౌ మెనీ క్లాసిఫికేషన్ ఆఫ్ సిగ్నల్స్ we have gone through? We have gone through continuous time and discrete time. Next, deterministic and random. Third one, causal and non-causal. Fourth one, even and odd. Fifth one, periodic and aperiodic. Sixth one, energy and power signals, right? Out of all these, we have covered this one, this one, this one, and this one. And we are left with the last two type of signals, which are aperiodic and periodic signals, energy and power signals. See, what is a continuous time signal and discrete time signal? The signal is defined, continuous time signal is defined for continuous values of the independent variable, and discrete time signal is defined only at discrete instants of time, right? What is a deterministic signal? Deterministic signal is the signal whose mathematical behavior is known, or we can find the amplitude or amplitude phase or any other attribute of this discrete time signal without any ambiguity. But random signal is a signal whose mathematical behavior is not known to us, means we can't find the amplitude, phase, or any other attribute of the system with full accuracy. Next signal is causal signal and non-causal signal. Causal signal is a signal which is defined for positive values of t or n. See, these causal signals are also called as right-sided signals. Non-causal signal means if the signal is defined for any negative values of n, then we call this as non-causal signal. See, these non-causal signals are also called as anti-causal signals. These non-causal signals are also called as anti-causal signals. So next classification is even and odd signals. If signal satisfies the condition x of minus t is equal to x of t, or x of minus n is equal to x of n, then we call that signal as even signal. And if the signal satisfies the condition x of minus n is equal to minus x of n, or x of minus t is equal to minus x of t, then we call that signal as odd signal. Next classification is periodic signal and aperiodic signal. See, is there any idea what periodic signal is? What is periodic signal? What is a periodic signal?
Which comes
Repeat
interval.
after regular.
Pardon? G6E9 ఇద్దరు అన్మ్యూట్ చేశారు ఏదో చెప్పారు. It is not clear to us. What is a periodic
Which
signal?
comes in
Which comes in regular.
intervals of time.
Very good. See, periodic signal is a signal which repeats itself at regular intervals of time. Periodic signal is a signal which repeats itself at regular intervals of time. And signal that doesn't repeats at regular intervals of time is called as a periodic signal. Signal that doesn't repeats itself at regular intervals of time is called as a periodic signal. right? Here we can see some of the examples of periodic signals, or here let us see how to observe or how to find a periodic signal, right? Here if you observe this one, see if you observe this one, if we observe this one, this is a periodic signal. This is a periodic signal. It is a sine signal and this is a periodic signal. What is the definition of periodic signal? Periodic signal repeats itself at regular intervals of time. So if we consider this particular signal x of t, this is repeating itself, means the same structure is repeating itself at every t units of time. This structure is repeating at every t units of time from minus infinite to plus infinite. First, the periodic signal should extend from minus infinite to plus infinite, minus infinite to plus infinite. And second constraint for being a periodic signal is it should repeat at regular intervals, means the same structure should be repeating at regular intervals, right? So this is a periodic signal because it is extending from minus infinite to plus infinite. And second thing, the same cycle is getting repeated from minus infinite to plus infinite. Is it clear? Similarly, the second example is a triangular signal. This is also an example for periodic signal in which the basic triangle structure is repeating from minus infinite to plus infinite with the period capital T. The basic structure is repeating from minus infinite to plus infinite with the time period capital T. Clear? Next, for discrete time signals, this is called a periodic signal because here the signal, this is actually itla unte manam దీన్ని aperiodic signal అని చెప్పొచ్చమ్మా, ఎందుకంటే they haven't extended the signal from minus infinite to plus infinite. If వాళ్ళు ఈ dots తో కనుక స్పెసిఫై చేస్తే we can call this signal as discrete time signal. What does this dots indicate? This dot indicates that this signal is repeating from minus infinite to plus infinite. Is it clear? సో మనకి ఇక్కడ ఈ పర్టికులర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్లో వాళ్ళు డాట్ స్పెసిఫై చేయలేదు కాబట్టి ఈవెన్ దో ద స్ట్రక్చర్ ఈస్ రిపీటింగ్ ఫ్రమ్ ఇన్ సర్టెన్ డ్యూరేషన్, but this is not repeating from minus infinite to plus infinite. So this is not an example for periodic signal. So we might consider it as an example for a periodic signal. Is it clear? And next, coming to the last one, this is an example for periodic signals. And one more thing in this periodic signal, the time period with which the signal is repeating. Here, if we consider the signal is repeating with the period of t. Here, if you consider the signal is repeating with the period of t. So, the time period with which the signal is repeating is called fundamental period. The time period with which the signal is getting repeated is called fundamental period. Fundamental period of x of t. Is it clear? And here, if you consider the number of samples which are repeating, means here if we consider 4 number of samples are repeating from minus infinite to plus infinite. 4 number of samples are repeating from minus infinite to plus infinite. So this n or number of samples is called fundamental period of the given discrete time signal. This is called fundamental period of the given discrete time signal. Is it clear? Periodic signal is one which is repeating itself from minus infinite to plus infinite at regular intervals of time. And the period with which the signal is repeating is called as fundamental period. The period with which the signal is repeating is called fundamental period. Here in this case, the signal is not repeating from minus infinite to plus infinite. So it is an aperiodic. Aperiodic signals are also called as non-periodic. Here also the signal, even though the signal has fundamental period t, this is not repeating from minus infinite to plus infinite. Similarly, this is also not repeating from minus infinite to plus infinite, and this signal is also not getting repeated from minus infinite to plus infinite. So we can consider these four as an examples for aperiodic signals. We can consider these as an example for periodic signals, but we can't call it as an periodic signal because it didn't extend from minus infinite to plus infinite. If this particular signal is extending from minus infinite to plus infinite, then we might call it as periodic signal. Clear? So this will be our next classification, periodic signals and aperiodic signals, right? And we'll do some sums in the next class.